and he's a friend of our show, always helpful when it comes to conversations of this nature. Kwame, it's a pleasure. Good morning to you. Do we have Kwame? I hope that's Kwame. Kwame, can you, if you can hear us, good morning. Right. Does it require some unmuting?
Yeah, hello, Kojo.
There you are, Kwame. Thank you for your time with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Kojo.
Yeah. This report, I mean, it's not as funny as it's scary, right? But is it that we are making too much? Are we making mountains out of molehills here? These people seem quite calm and comfortable, even though they handle and sell large volumes of this food that we are now concerned might be poisoned.
Good morning. Good morning to listeners. It's funny, but the level of ignorance is alarming. And that is what really scares me. Because if someone says you'd add salt, which is basically sodium chloride, to a product that contains mercury, cyanide, and all that to dissolve it, I don't know what chemical reaction that person is trying to undertake. I don't know. If you ask me, I just cannot work out the chemical reaction or the nomenclature. If someone tells me that tomatoes would not grow in soil that is heavily contaminated, I ask myself, well, Kojo Kotobuate is the farmer, and I'm quite sure he's driven past a lot of galamsey areas, and we've all done it when we are driving on many roads in Ghana and we see them. We see plants growing. So you see, it's synonymous to when people were killed in this world because they said the world was round. Even though people could see mountains and valleys, they believed the world was flat.
Yeah.
I mean, how they could continue believing the world was flat when they could see mountains and valleys defies logic. But that is how we're behaving. We are saying things because I remember last week, when we had a conversation, you were saying, should people be taken out of Konongo? And I said, practically, you might think that is what should happen. But in reality, where are you taking them? Because the thing seems to be all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's that level of denial that you're trying to say that, yes, for those who know, oh, we know this is there, but for one reason or the other, it's not going to affect us. The truth is, it is going to affect us. And you see, we shouldn't say it is going to affect us. It is affecting us. If you watched Newsfile on Saturday, Professor Sampene, my good friend, was on there. He spoke a lot. My other friend, Dr. Mentor, was also there. Eke was also on there. He gave not just anecdotal, but scientific evidence that supports what EPA has said. You see, so when the science and the numbers back the epidemiology as in what is happening to us, I can no longer say what may happen to us. It is happening to us. We are seeing deformed kids. We are seeing a lot of people with renal failure. We are seeing people with skin diseases. Like Professor Sampene was saying, we are seeing children who have low IQs because heavy metals are preventing them from assimilating basic information. So when I hear people say this in the markets, Kojo, do you know what eventually is going to happen? We might find ourselves in a two-tier society where those who now believe the science, who are listening to the researchers, would decide to go to the supermarket and buy foods that are marked as imported into this country.
Let me ask you.
Sorry, I'll let you finish. Pressure on our foreign exchange.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Kwame. Does this level of ignorance signal that if we have a public health crisis, we might be too late in dealing with it? When people don't even believe that galamsey could end up poisoning their food, then
No, Kojo, I don't think we are late. I honestly don't think we are late because, like I said, and that was why I used the analogy of the world being flat, even though people could see glaringly it was round. It took people like Copernicus to say, you know what, even if we are going to die for correcting the obvious ignorance of society, it is worth it, because you see, Kojo, the point is that you either die pointing out that the world is round and not flat, or die because of your ignorance. So what am I saying? You either die convincing them that, look, we are dying from these heavy metal poisoning. We are getting deformed kids from this heavy metal poisoning. We are getting delayed mental development from this heavy metal poisoning. Or keeping quiet and going to the market and buying from these people who would sell to you in their ignorance and eating it and getting renal failure and dying anyway. So it is damn if you did and damn if you didn't. So we are not late. We just have to soldier on.
So what's the strategy here? I mean, what do we do in the face of such dangerous ignorance?
The only way is what we are doing, like you and I are doing now. The only way is, I remember on that very day when Joy Midday News was going on, I made a Facebook post and I said, this is the gospel according to Ghana. And I quoted exactly the things that the traders were saying, and I put it on my Facebook page. And people came to comment. Why did I do that? Because I wanted to debunk the obvious ignorance that had been put out there. But what I think we have to also do is to have this communication in our local dialects, because if you realize that clip was in our local dialects, and that is where this ignorance is being publicized. So if we do not go in there to demystify this obvious ignorance, then we are in trouble. Because the point is, and you see, the other day I made another post based on this. I said, so we'll get to the point where, Kojo, you go to the chop bar or to the restaurant and you need to ask, where did the goat come from? Who reared the goat? What grass did they eat? Which city were they, or village or town were they bought in? Who killed it? Where did the cassava come from? Where did the tomatoes and garden eggs that was used to make the light soup come from? Is it practical? It is not practical. But we are getting to that point, because even if you said, oh, go and cook at home, like people tell, then don't go and eat in restaurants if you are not comfortable with the food being cooked and the risk of it being contaminated. Don't go and eat that. You're going to buy from the same market. And now we know, because the FDA has also told us, that in things like turmeric powder, Tom Brown, and other things that we buy at our staples, they are finding the heavy metals as well. You're aware of that, aren't you? That there was a report from FDA last week.
Yeah.
So if we can only fight this, and we can only force the the government to act. That is the only way. We need to continue fighting. We cannot give up, because we are damned if we continue fighting and get insulted or disparaged in some quarters. And we are damned if we don't, because we would eat the food. People often tell me, but you live in the UK and blah, blah, blah. Why do you go on and on and on about this galamsey? And I say, you know what? When I come to Ghana, one of the things I always tell my friends is, the food that I get to eat in the UK, like the rices and all that, I wouldn't eat them in Ghana. So I go to the finest chop bars and other things to eat, because I like my African delicacy. I put myself at risk. So why would I keep quiet? So, Kojo, we cannot keep quiet. We need to continue.
We need to continue. Kwame Sarpong Asiedu, thank you. Thank you for spending a bit of time with us this morning. We know you had to come out of a meeting to do this. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
There's still hope. There's still look. If I was the Minister of, say, Health, for example, and Education and Information, I'll start using ISD. I'll start using all the channels to start a public education campaign in schools. We will start educating the kids in schools about these things. They will carry it home. one interesting thing is that since I became a father, I have been learning a lot from my boys. They go to school, they learn something, and they go, Daddy, did you know that this was Sometimes you'd have to read up and really catch up. So we start education, we involve our religious institutions in church. Before the pastor preaches, or even during the preaching, there should be some education on some of these things to make us all aware of the dangers of galamsey, the heavy metals in our food chain now, and how we should approach it. I also see it as a big opportunity for some of our regions. For example, for the Volta region, where no active gold mining is happening and no galamsey is happening, this is the time for farmers and traders in Volta to package their foodstuff as premium healthy foodstuffs and get better value for themselves. Every problem, everything presents an opportunity.
You know my concern, though?
Yeah.
The way we've politicized galamsey, the same government that would now be required to go around educating people that, look, your food may be poisoned. They are the same ones who were supposed to prevent us from getting to this point.
Yeah.
And so they might see this as a mark of failure that they would be reluctant to trumpet.
Yeah.
Right? So you will see some reluctance in spending money on an educational drive to tell people that they need to be careful about the food they eat because of galamsey.
I'm not sure Mahama will do that.
Well, I hope that your optimism is paid.
If he sits down for his government not to go all out to educate the public, then he's derelicting his duty, and the promises he's made the people, he'll be failing us.
What about
and that'll be a big indictment on his research agenda.
What about if he sits down and galamsey gets worse under his tenure?
It's both. So I'm
because
I'm
one is
looking at
already
it.
happening.
Yes, but in fighting galamsey, okay. In fact, this public education thing, if we do it and we do it right, now the populace will start putting pressure on the same stakeholders within their local environments. You understand? In my village, I always use Nkranza and Adoya as an example. The stream we dream from. You cannot even go near the stream to misbehave, because even though we have boreholes, my grandmothers and my uncles prefer to drink from the stream because they claim it's healthier, because the water runs through some forest and some rocks and all those things.
So there will be more pressure on them if they go ahead and educate
from the local level to the national level.
Isn't that a disincentive?
It's an incentive for them to do their work.
All right. Well,
so that now if they crack down on people, it's not that they are doing it, but the people are demanding it.
Okay. I hope you're right, because I mean it needs to happen, right? It needs to happen because it's not safe out there.
Yeah.
So it needs to happen. It's just that I also hope that they don't become disincentivized by the political cost of speaking the truth about this.